Hello, coin collectors and history enthusiasts. Welcome back to my channel All Old Rare Coins, where we dive into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins. Top 1 expensive coin. We're going to explore an iconic piece of American numismatics, the United States $quarter coin from 1788 to 1999. This coin has a rich history, and you might be surprised to learn how much it's worth today. Stick around until the end, because we've got an eye-opening price reveal for you. Let's start by taking a step back into history. The $quarter, also known simply as the quarter, is one of the longest-standing coins in American history. It was first introduced in 1796, just a few years after the United States was founded, making it an essential piece of the nation's currency. Over the centuries, the design, metal composition, and minting process of the coin have changed, but the quarter has always remained a symbol of American prosperity and innovation. Throughout its history, the quarter has undergone several transformations, reflecting the changes in the country itself. The first quarter was made of a mixture of silver and copper, a composition that lasted until the early 20th century. In the 1930s, the U.S. Mint switched to a combination of copper and nickel, which is the familiar alloy we see today. With each new era, the design of the coin was updated, and certain years of the quarter have become highly sought after by collectors. The years 1788 to 1999 are particularly interesting when we look at the various quarters that were produced. The coin's design has evolved with different themes, including patriotic symbols, historical figures, and landmarks. For example, from 1932 to 1998, the quarter featured George Washington's portrait on the obverse, while the reverse showcased various symbols, such as an eagle or an eagle in flight, depending on the time period. However, not all quarters are created equal. The rarity and value of a quarter depend largely on its year of minting, its design, and, most importantly, the condition of the coin. A coin in pristine condition, especially one that's been kept out of circulation or stored carefully in a collection, is worth far more than one that's been worn down from years of use. So, while the quarter may have been in regular circulation for over 2 centuries, some coins are much rarer than others. One of the factors that makes certain quarters so valuable is the limited number of coins that were minted in particular years. For example, some early 20th century quarters were struck in smaller quantities, and over time, they became more difficult to find in good condition. Coins with minting errors or unique features, such as an incorrectly struck die, are also highly prized by collectors. But what about the period from 1788 to 1999? Well, during these years, the United States Mint produced millions of quarters, but not all of them survived the test of time. And some of the quarters produced during this period are in such high demand today that they can fetch impressive sums in the marketplace. Among these, there are some quarters that stand out for their rarity. The 1932 Washington quarter, for instance, is one of the most sought-after quarters in U.S. coinage history. Only 408,000 of these coins were struck, making it extremely rare today. If you happen to own one in mint condition, you might be looking at a serious payday. In addition to rare individual quarters, the series of state quarters that was released from 1999 to 2008 is also worth noting. These coins featured different designs representing each of the 50 states, and some of them were produced in limited numbers or had errors during the minting process. These quirks, combined with the growing interest in state-themed collectibles, have driven up the value of certain state quarters significantly. Now, here's the real shocker. Many people don't realize that the value of some of these quarters can soar to eye-popping amounts. Whether you've inherited an old collection or just stumbled upon a rare find at a coin shop, certain quarters from this era can be worth a lot more than their face value. A pristine quarter from the 1930s or 1940s, for example, can fetch thousands of dollars if it's in mint condition. So, how much could you expect to get for a U.S. $quarter coin from 1788 to 1999? Well, depending on the rarity, condition, and year of the coin, the value could range from a few dollars to a staggering amount. In fact, if you're lucky enough to have one of the rarest quarters in pristine condition, your coin could be worth as much as $141,000. Yes, you heard that right, $141,000 for a single quarter. That's the kind of value that can change a collector's life forever. It's hard to believe that something as simple as a coin could hold so much historical and monetary worth, but the world of numismatics is full of surprises like this. If you've got a collection of quarters or any coins from the United States, it's worth taking a closer look at their condition, year, and any unique features. Who knows? You might just have a hidden treasure sitting in your collection. Be sure to consult with an expert or a reputable coin dealer to get a proper appraisal if you think you might be sitting on a gold mine. Top 2 Rare Coin. We're focusing on a true American classic, the United States $quarter coin, spanning from 1792 to 2001. This coin has seen centuries of history and has a fascinating story to tell, along with a potential fortune waiting for the right collector. Stick with us until the end to discover just how much this coin could be worth today. Let's kick things off by traveling back to 1792, the year that marks the birth of the U.S. Mint and the creation of the very first $quarter coin. In the early days of the nation, the U.S. economy was still in its infancy, and a national currency was essential for trade and commerce. The $quarter was introduced as part of the first official coinage of the United States, and it quickly became an integral part of daily life. The design of the first quarters was inspired by the nation's ideals: strength, unity, and freedom. The earliest versions of the quarter featured an eagle on the reverse side and a bust of liberty on the obverse, both powerful symbols of the nation's identity. Over time, the designs of the coin have evolved to reflect the changing culture, politics, and symbolism of America. From portraits of presidents to the representation of national landmarks, each new design adds a layer to the rich story of the United States. Throughout the centuries, the quarter has been struck in various metals, from silver in the early years to the modern copper-nickel alloy we know today. Along the way, it's also undergone several design changes, including the famous Washington quarter design that became the standard in 1932 and stayed in circulation for decades. But just because a quarter has been around for a long time doesn't mean it's not worth something special. In fact, some quarters are incredibly valuable, especially if you've got a rare one from the right time period. The years 1792 to 2001 are particularly noteworthy for the sheer number of unique quarters that were produced, each with its own history. Some of these quarters were minted in low quantities, making them exceedingly rare and highly sought after by collectors. Others, like the state quarters minted between 1999 and 2008, feature detailed designs representing each of the 50 states, and some of those quarters were released in limited runs. The demand for these state quarters, along with a surge in the popularity of coin collecting in the late 20th century, has made many of them much more valuable than their face value. But what really makes certain quarters from this era stand out? Well, like with any collectible, it's all about rarity, condition, and sometimes, errors in the minting process. A quarter in pristine, uncirculated condition, especially one that has been well preserved and stored properly, can be worth far more than a worn, circulated coin. Coins that were only produced in limited numbers or during a specific time period, especially those from the late 18th century and early 19th century, are among the most valuable in the quarter series. One of the key reasons why quarters from 1792 to 2001 are so valuable is because they capture a moment in history. The quarter was the coin that carried America through some of its most defining moments, from the Revolutionary War to the Civil War, and from the Great Depression to the booming economy of the 1990s. Some coins, especially those minted in the early years, are deeply linked to these historic events, and their rarity today is a direct result of how few survived through the years. And then, there are the mint errors. Sometimes, a coin doesn't quite come out as planned, and this can make it even more desirable. For example, some quarters have been struck with double dies, where the design was stamped twice, creating a misalignment. Others have been minted in incorrect metals or have unique features that make them stand out from the rest. These minting errors are incredibly rare and can make a coin's value soar, sometimes well beyond what you'd expect. But here's the kicker: what if I told you that a single United States $quarter coin from 1792 to 2001 could be worth as much as $120,000? That's right, $1.20,000 for just $1. It's amazing to think that something as simple as a coin, which was once a mere tool for everyday transactions, could hold so much value today. The key to unlocking this kind of worth lies in finding one of these rare and historically significant quarters in exceptional condition or with an error that sets it apart from the others. If you happen to have an old collection of coins tucked away in a drawer or a box, it's worth taking a closer look at those quarters. You never know, you could be holding a piece of American history that could bring in a significant payday. If you think you might have a rare quarter on your hands, be sure to reach out to a professional coin dealer or numismatic expert for an evaluation. To sum it up, the United States $quarter coin from 1792 to 2001 is not just a piece of currency, it's a window into the past, a symbol of American heritage, and, in some cases, a rare treasure worth a small fortune. If you've got one of these coins, or if you're just getting started in coin collecting, remember that every coin tells a story, and some of those stories are worth $120,000. Top 3 Unique Coin. We're diving into one of the most recent and exciting coins in U.S. history, the 2022 United States $quarter coin. This coin may seem like a simple, modern piece of currency, but it has a story to tell and a surprising value that you might not expect. Stick with us till the end, because you won't believe just how much this coin is worth today. Let's start by taking a quick look at the background of the 2022 $quarter. In recent years, the U.S. Mint has been working on a series of quarter designs to commemorate important moments and people in American history. The 2022 quarters are part of this ongoing effort, and they feature some of the most intriguing designs we've seen in a while. While many people may still think of quarters as just everyday change, the 2022 series marks a moment of transition in U.S. coinage, with the introduction of designs honoring significant cultural, historical, and natural landmarks. These coins represent more than just money, they reflect the evolution of the United States and its values. For example, in 2022, the U.S. Mint released several different designs to celebrate the contributions of women in American history, like the American Women Quarters program, which features notable figures like Maya Angelou and Sally Ride. But these aren't just coins with beautiful designs, they have the potential to be incredibly valuable, especially for collectors who understand the significance of certain details. But what makes the 2022 $quarter so special, and why is it drawing so much attention from coin collectors around the world? For one, the quarter is a key coin in the history of the United States. While quarters have been circulating for over 2 centuries, the 2022 release stands out because it marks the beginning of a new era. Coins produced during this period are bound to carry historical significance in the future, and that makes them even more appealing to collectors who know what to look for. Now, you might be wondering, what makes a coin like this worth anything beyond its face value? Well, it all comes down to rarity, condition, and sometimes, a bit of luck. Many quarters from recent years are produced in large quantities and don't hold much value beyond the 25 cents they're worth. However, certain quarters from 2022 are being released in limited numbers or feature special characteristics that make them desirable to coin enthusiasts. Let's talk about one of the main reasons why the 2022 quarter is catching the eye of collectors: minting errors and special features. Over the years, minting mistakes have become a goldmine for collectors. These errors can range from something as subtle as a misaligned die to something more significant like double strikes or incorrect metal compositions. When these errors occur, they make the coin unique, and that uniqueness translates into value. If you happen to find a 2022 quarter with one of these rare errors, you could be holding a coin that's worth far more than its 25-cent face value. But even beyond minting errors, the 2022 quarters themselves are special due to the limited release of certain designs. These limited edition coins, often commemorating important figures or events in U.S. history, are highly sought after by collectors who want to own a piece of history. With such a wide variety of designs being released, it's essential for collectors to pay close attention to which ones are rare or potentially have future value. What really makes a coin like the 2022 $quarter so appealing to collectors is that it's not just another coin, it's a snapshot of a moment in American culture. The design choices, the people being honored, and the themes being celebrated reflect the values and history of the country. A coin like this tells a story about who we are and what we value as a nation. And if you're lucky enough to have one of these coins in near-perfect condition, or perhaps one with a unique minting error, that piece of history can be worth a lot more than you'd think. Now, here's the part you've been waiting for, the value reveal. While most 2022 quarters will likely remain worth their face value of 25 cents, there are certain rare versions of the coin that could be worth a small fortune. That's right, if you have a pristine 2022 quarter dollar, or one with a minting error that sets it apart from the rest, it could be worth as much as $80,000, yes, you heard that correctly, $80,000 for a single 2022 quarter. It might sound unbelievable, but the world of coin collecting is full of surprises like this. The rarity, the condition, and the special features can turn a simple coin into a treasure, and collectors are willing to pay big bucks for pieces that fit the right criteria. If you think you have a 2022 quarter that might be worth more than just a couple of quarters, it's definitely worth taking a closer look. Check for any minting errors, unique features, or any rare variations. You could be holding a coin that's far more valuable than you ever imagined. As always, if you're unsure, it's a good idea to consult with a professional coin dealer or numismatic expert who can help you evaluate the coin's worth. Top 4 coin, we have an exciting treat for you, a deep dive into one of America's most iconic coins, the United States quarter dollar coin, minted from 1788 to 2000. This coin may seem like a simple piece of currency, but there's so much more to it than meets the eye. Stick around until the end to find out just how much this coin could be worth. Let's begin by taking a step back in time. The quarter dollar coin has been part of America's coinage since the very beginning. The first quarters were minted in 1796, shortly after the U.S. Mint was established. From the outset, quarters became a vital part of the nation's economy, facilitating trade and commerce across the young United States. It's hard to believe that this coin, which has been in circulation for more than 2 centuries, continues to be so relevant today. But what makes the quarter dollar from 1788 to 2000 so interesting? Well, during this time, the coin went through a variety of design changes, reflecting the evolving history, values, and symbols of the United States. Early designs of the quarter, from the late 18th and early 19th centuries, featured liberty and an eagle. These designs were not only artistic but also symbolic of the country's ideals of freedom, strength, and independence. As the years went on, the design evolved to feature portraits of prominent figures, like George Washington, and representations of American life, culture, and nature. The most famous design of all, the Washington quarter, was introduced in 1932, and it remained in circulation for decades. The front of the coin featured George Washington's portrait, while the reverse side featured an eagle, which would later be replaced with various national symbols. Over the years, the coin's design would change, but the Washington quarter remained a steadfast symbol of American pride. However, not all quarters minted from 1788 to 2000 are created equal. Some years, some designs, and some minting errors are what makes certain quarters truly valuable. While quarters are regularly produced for circulation, there are specific years and editions that were struck in limited quantities or with unique features. Coins from earlier years, especially from the 18th and 19th centuries, are often highly prized by collectors due to their rarity and historical significance. For example, there are only a few hundred known surviving examples of certain early quarters, which makes them incredibly valuable. In addition to rare years, coins that feature unique minting errors can also command huge amounts of money. Errors such as misstrikes, double dies, or coins minted on the wrong planchet, metal, are highly sought after by numismatists. These one-of-a-kind mistakes make a coin truly special, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar to own them. The 1788 to 2000 period is filled with such examples, and even a slight variation in the coin's design can dramatically increase its value. But what about the 20th century? After the Washington quarter became the standard in 1932, the coin's design would continue to evolve with changing times. In 1999, a series of commemorative quarters was introduced to honor each of the 50 states. This was a major milestone in the history of American coinage, and these quarters became hugely popular with collectors, partly due to their regional significance and limited mint runs. The state quarter program was a massive success, and coins from this series are still being sought after by collectors today. Some of the state quarters, especially those with errors or specific design details, can be worth much more than their 25-cent face value. However, the real treasure lies in the pre-1930s quarters, especially those that were minted in low quantities. Some of the rarest examples of quarters from this period have sold for extraordinary amounts. For example, the 1896 Barber quarter, a coin struck in New Orleans, is considered one of the most sought-after quarters in American history. These types of rare finds can go for tens of thousands of dollars, and even more if they're in near-perfect condition. The key to understanding the true value of the $quarter coin from 1788 to 2000 is knowing what to look for. Rarity, condition, and any unique characteristics of a coin can dramatically affect its value. If you happen to own a collection of old quarters, it's definitely worth taking a closer look at the dates and designs. If you find one that's particularly rare or has an error, you could be sitting on a goldmine. And now, here's the moment you've been waiting for. How much could one of these coins be worth? Well, if you happen to have a rare, high-quality example of a $quarter from 1788 to 2000, especially one with a special minting error or limited edition design, you could be looking at a value that exceeds your wildest expectations. In fact, some of these coins have been known to fetch as much as $150,000, yes, that's right, $150,000 for a single quarter. While most quarters from this era are worth their face value or a little more, there are certain examples that can fetch a staggering price. A coin with a rare design, an error, or simply a piece of history can turn into a valuable treasure. If you're a collector or you've inherited a collection of quarters from 1788 to 2000, it's definitely worth consulting with an expert or taking a closer look at your coins. Who knows? You might just have a rare gem on your hands that could be worth a small fortune. Top 5 last coin. We're diving into the world of the 2015 United States $quarter coin, minted with the letter D. This might seem like just another modern coin you see in your change, but trust me, there's more to it than meets the eye. Stick around until the end, and we'll reveal just how much this quarter could be worth today. Let's start with a quick history lesson on the United States quarter. The quarter has been in circulation for over 200 years and has gone through countless designs, with each version reflecting something important about American history and culture. The 2015 quarter is part of a series of coins called the America the Beautiful Quarters program, which began in 2010 and continues to this day. These quarters honor national parks, historical landmarks, and important sites from around the country, turning them into collectibles that capture a piece of American heritage. The 2015 quarter specifically celebrates the Saratoga National Historical Park in New York. The design features a soldier on horseback, representing the bravery and heroism displayed during the Battle of Saratoga in 1777, which was a pivotal victory in the American Revolution. This design is packed with meaning, honoring the park's role in American history. The back of the coin showcases the soldier riding forward, with Saratoga engraved across the top and New York at the bottom, highlighting the location of this historic site. But what makes this 2015 D quarter stand out in the world of coin collecting? For most coins, the value is determined by rarity, demand, and sometimes errors that occurred during the minting process. And while the 2015 Saratoga quarter was produced in large numbers, there's a good chance that a particular variation or minting issue can make it much more valuable than what you'd typically expect. One of the main reasons why certain quarters, like the 2015 D, are so interesting to collectors is because of the mint's constant release of new and limited designs. Some of these designs are more popular than others, and certain batches of coins are minted in smaller quantities, which increases their rarity and value. The 2015 D coin, with its depiction of an important moment in American history, is one of those coins that collectors and investors keep their eyes on, knowing that time could make it more valuable. Now, let's talk about why this coin might be worth more than just a few quarters sitting in your change jar. If you're lucky enough to find a 2015 D quarter in pristine condition, meaning it's uncirculated, without any scratches or marks, and looks as though it just came from the mint, it can be worth a whole lot more. Uncirculated coins are highly prized by collectors, as they represent a piece of history that's remained untouched by time, but that's not all. Mint errors are another key factor that could push the value of this coin through the roof. Coins that are minted with mistakes are often extremely valuable, as they're unique and can't be replicated. For example, if your 2015 D quarter has a misaligned die, a double strike, or any other notable error, it could be worth far more than its standard face value. These types of errors are rare and highly sought after by collectors who are always on the lookout for something that stands out from the rest of the coins out there. The world of coin collecting can be a little tricky, especially when it comes to determining which coins are truly valuable. But with the right knowledge, a little bit of luck, and a keen eye for detail, you could end up with a coin that's worth much more than you'd expect. The 2015 D quarter is a perfect example of a coin that, while seemingly simple, could turn out to be a hidden gem if you find the right one in excellent condition or with a rare minting error. So, how much can this quarter actually be worth? Well, if you happen to have a 2015 D Saratoga quarter in perfect, uncirculated condition, or perhaps even one with a minting error that sets it apart from the others, it could fetch an impressive sum. In fact, a coin like this could be worth as much as $40,000, that's right, $40,000 for just one quarter. It's hard to believe, but in the world of coin collecting, this kind of value is entirely possible, especially for coins that are as unique and historically significant as the 2015 D Saratoga quarter. If you've got a collection of coins at home, or you happen to come across a 2015 D quarter while digging through your change, make sure to take a closer look. The value of a coin isn't always obvious at first glance, so it's worth checking the condition and any potential errors that might make it stand out. With a little bit of knowledge and a bit of luck, you could be holding a coin that's worth far more than its face value. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of the 2015 D Saratoga quarter, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future coin-related discoveries. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting!